Good afternoon. This video documentation is in regards to some of the process or what the steps might entail in regards to if you would like to modify the headlights to have it working for your factory housing settings. A lot of this is theoretical, but we've done this retrofit for other headlights, so we understand that this is a possibility and it can work. However, please understand that this is indeed a modification. Any modification done to the headlight will void and render the manufacturer warranty void. So if you do know and understand what you're going to be doing, this is something that you can do as well to see if you can work with the headlights with your factory housing settings. Pretty much what I have here is a generic ballast. You will be needing a canvas HID ballast because your vehicle is a bit newer. However, this is just for an example purpose. So in actually you have an HID ballast, a D2S bulb, this is a D2S housing for the Audi A6 DEPO headlights. This is actually a D2S connector. And lastly, you have an extended 9006 wire. The main focus of this is actually the connector, this is a 9006 connector, which ultimately will be connecting to your HID ballast, the one that you're going to be purchasing the aftermarket ones. Again, the HID ballast has to be canvases. Alright, just to run through really quickly, the headlight overview. Before you proceed with anything, the main point is to make sure that this DEPO connector matches to your OEM vehicle connector. Furthermore, we just want to make sure all the pins align correctly, and then all the wires that you have for the low beam, high beam, also your parking lights, and even your signal lights matches in terms of how it's wired inside the headlights. So ultimately, if you are able to fit your OEM connectors onto this plug, and you are pretty much understanding that all the pins that you have from your OEM connector matches to the ones that on the headlights. The next process is the wires inside the headlights that is directly to the pins. You must locate the wire for the low beam, positive, and grounding negative for the low beam. Currently, I'm only speaking theoretically. DEPO likes to use yellow wires to low beam. Again, this is not a confirmation. This is just for my general reference. It is your responsibility to figure out which of these wires are your grounding negative and positive for your low beam. Once you're able to identify this, the next process is to work with your aftermarket HID kits. So knowing that this is positive and negative, polarity sensitive, so you have to make sure that your wires are correctly aligned. So positive to positive side, negative to negative side. So once I have that established, connect the extended wires. So you have this wire connected. Next thing you'll be connecting is your D2S connector. And it's pretty much a plug and play for the most part of the aftermarket HID kits, for at least the connector portion of these. So you got these two connected. Ultimately, you have your D2S bulb, which will be fitting into the housing, and you got your D2S socket that will pretty much power or latch onto the D2S bulb. So pretty much just pretend that this is already installed on the vehicle, on the headlights. I'm just pretty much taking it out so that you have an easier time of referencing what I'm doing. So ultimately, you have these two wires left. Pretty much these two wires will be receiving power to power the HID ballast to ultimately power the D2S bulb. This wire is the wire that you actually would be using either to tap or solder on to the low beam negative and positive wire inside the headlight housing. Once you're able to locate the positive and negative low beam wire inside the headlight housing, pretty much the last hurdle that you have to go over would be the rear housing cap, which pretty much is all sealed. Ultimately, sometimes when we retrofit, what we need to do is actually drill a smaller hole that we can fit the HID grommet through and all the wirings through, so that pretty much once the HID grommet sits right through, it can at least seal the headlight housing a lot better. So a lot of this is pretty much showing you as reference of what you might need to be doing. Again, this is pretty much your, not an obligation, but ultimately your decision, whether if this is something that you would like to proceed or pretty much not wanting to do. If you're able to pretty much notify your seller of what your ultimate decision is, that would be much appreciated. Thank you so much for your time.